Well, everybody, we're back on our bi-weekly schedule here with Chainsaw Man Part 2. We're all loving life. I feel like this chapter didn't even feel short like most of the other ones. I liked the way it went. But here we are. My little image thingy isn't working where it highlights? I think that's the word that I was looking for. Highlights whenever I say something and makes it look a little bit more visually interesting. Right now you just got an image in chat. Hopefully we'll have it fixed in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully we'll have it fixed by the time the next House of the Dragon episode thingy comes out. But anyway, you'll have to deal with it. I know you're all tragically mortified by this development. But anyway, we're here to talk about Chainsaw Man Chapter 104. Spoiler. Big dramatic meta reference in the title. This is going to be a good one. I actually did like this chapter a lot. I feel like it probably is my favorite so far. And no, it just has our characters interacting for the first time. What a fun time. Should we go chronologically before any more overall things? But what the fuck was I saying there? Yes, I think we should talk generally first. So, we basically get what we assumed was going to be our trio for most of Part 2, as we had the trio in Part 1 with Aki and Power, and now it's Asa, Denji, and oh my god, Octopus Boy Yoshida. Now, they do point out in this conversation at some point, is it Octopus Boy, or somebody asked where Yuko is? It has to be Octopus Boy, because Denji wouldn't know who the fuck she was. Asks where Yuko is, and my god, I forgot her name now. Isa answers, rather, that she's away with an injury, right? Lamau, she got stabbed through the leg. There was no depressing death or hospital scene like I speculated last time, I believe. I like the direction anyway. So my point there was that it could end up being a foursome over here. A quintuplet? What the fuck do you call these things? And maybe we'll get four main characters rather than three like last time. But it could be interesting. But, this chapter particularly, I think, highlighted a lot of, even more than last time, because Denji is interacting with people, highlighted a lot more of Denji's very likable characteristics, his sort of intrinsically likable characteristics, that are very unique in a bunch of ways. And this was a lot of character stuff here, which is what I really like about it. Just him and Yoshida talking for a while, and then him and Isa talking for a while, and that's basically all the chapter is, and I love it. Better than that action nonsense could ever be. I feel like a lot of the draw of the chapter comes from specifically what they say and how they respond to each other, so this might be one where we have to go through every little fucking detail. Yoshida tries to get Denji a girlfriend so he doesn't reveal his identity, immediately reveals his identity, yes. The weird premise that Yoshida's life exists, or Yoshida's duty rather, is to make sure Denji lives a comfortable life or something, and so he has to prevent him from revealing his name, and just the silliness around that and how that is handled in the chapter is all very fun. But we open with Isa and the War Devil. The War Devil freaking out basically that she got saved by Chainsaw Man and talking about how weak she is now because of all the wars. Now, she mentions here he's the reason there hasn't been a single war since the World War. Now, I assume she's referring to 2 here because she would remember World War II. Hold on, when Denji takes a concept out of existence, does everybody forget or just humanity forget? Because Makima knew about some things. She went on that monologue. So I'm assuming maybe devils remember. So she could be referring to World War II, because if you don't remember Nazis, then you probably... And you don't remember the atomic bomb. Those are sort of the 2 biggest things about World War II. Maybe World War II isn't remembered. And when she says the World War, she says the, not World War II. So maybe only the first one happened. But there is some fucky shit going on with whatever's going on with the history timeline and which was happened and didn't happen. This is going to be... I feel like the last time we had a bunch of yawns was also a Chainsaw Man review. This is becoming a custom. You gotta love it. Initially, there is... Now I'm going crazy here with my House of the Dragon reference. And it's actually Isayama who's the big Westeros mark, not Fujimoto as far as I know. There's no way she is wearing a cake shirt because of Rhaenyra's jokes about cake, right? I feel like this is the biggest show in the world and it's not an impossibility. But also cake is sort of like a funny meme. Lamau, I like cake. Rhaenyra didn't invent that. But that was a thought I had immediately when seeing it in the chapter. But outside of this, it is cute depicting both of them lying next to each other. I assume this is what Asa sees, so it's not entirely a depiction just for the audience's sake, but it is cute. And the War Devil's fear that at this rate everybody will forget me, and being such a dumb human, like insecurity or fear. I don't know. It's good at humanizing. It's also funny. It's just goofy. What a clever little detail. She blames Chainsaw Man. She still does not like Chainsaw Man. Does she say anything else poignant here? She points out that Chainsaw Man gets back up every time you kill him. Next thing I knew, he'd eaten from my body, weakening me. Oh, she does mention that, because Chainsaw Man kills things by eating them entirely, but if she just eats something... Oh, and this actually comes back into play later when Asa accuses him of eating things, and then Denji has to go, well, I only ate that one person, and the meme is that it was actually Denji that ate Makima, not really Chainsaw Man. Well, not Chainsaw Man at all. It's, we're playing on layers here. What else happens here? Are you afraid of being forgotten? Isa kind of relates to this. And then she immediately falls asleep like a little baby who's just throwing a tantrum. And Isa freaks out about that, which is also cute. And then she has some thoughts about... The longest thought, I didn't care if I died. But now I'm glad I didn't, thanks Chainsaw Man. So Isa ends up coming around a little bit to Chainsaw Man, but then when confronted with Denji later, she says she's neutral, and then ends up calling him a loser, though it's uncertain whether or not she realizes or believes that he is Chainsaw Man. But then we cut back to Denji. Now this, I guess we should talk about structure here. It is rather interesting that we seem to be cutting through different characters. I don't know, do we ever cut to like other characters? Yeah, I feel like, we followed Aki around when Denji wasn't around, and Makima around when Denji wasn't around in part 1. So this isn't entirely new, but it definitely felt like we were sharing the role of protagonist here. As we cut to Denji here, away from Isa, because we speculated that maybe they would have chapters each, but we're very much cramming their stories together right now. Cramming has a negative connotation to it. I didn't mean that. But the first thing we see is Denji being a seat for a pretty girl. It plays into multiple things, because initially you think he's just being a simp, but later it's basically that he's just doing it for money, which are both very Denji things and very funny, separated and together. But they're just talking about, and then the teacher took it away or some stupid shit. And then some bloke comes up to Denji, he's like, Denji, some tall pretty boy is asking for you. And Denji's wearing a Chainsaw Man shirt. He's a mark for himself. And wrestling, that's the one thing you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to wear your own shirts. You're supposed to wear somebody else's shirts because it's seen as lame. Denji does not give a fuck. He's wearing his own shirt, and you love him for it. And he's not excited to see Yoshida again. Then they have back and forth. And Yoshida asks the obvious question, why the girl is sitting on her. Denji unveils his masterful money-making scheme that for 10 yen, I'll be a chair for 10 minutes. Now, 10 yen is that's like 1 cent, right, or something, or it might even be less. Hold on. How much is 10 yen in cents? Oh my god, I gotta go to a conversion rate. You don't actually have a fucking thingy here. It's 7 US cents is 10 yen, so it's not a lot. So it is kind of funny that Denji sort of understands that he needs to make money, but he is charging so little that it's like almost pointless to do this. What a wacky fella this Denji is. Who's missed him? We have. Oh yeah, and then he goes through how he has rules to this game. If I'm not back in 30 seconds, I got to give her a refund. Then Yoshida gives him money. Oh no, he gives him his student ID here when he did the cockroach, and then it's a gag because he intentionally left his student ID around to try and get found out. great gag after great gag in this fucking chapter. Great little reintroduction bits for Denji. Yoshida repeats his goal here. He's not going to let him spill the beans. Denji threatens to kill him. You'll be dead if you get in my way. I'm going back to be a chair now. What a cute fella. He wants to chat and that he'll pay him to be a chair. And then he's like, I'm not going to let some dude sit on me. Then he offers him, what is it, like 1,000 yen here? And then immediately he's sitting on him. Another great visual gag. This Fujimoto fella knows what he's doing. The seat is surprisingly comfortable. It's all cute stuff. Denji reiterates that he hasn't caved, and that he's going to get it found out no matter what. It's still the cute little inversion on the usual superhero story here. It's all cute. Do you want that because you want a girlfriend? And then Denji just says, yeah. Denji just wants a girlfriend. It's cute. Yoshida wants to avoid this and just get him a girlfriend, because if his goal is truthfully just to make Denji happy, getting a girlfriend, I assume he thinks, will help make Denji happy, whereas the identity thing will not. So if he can just skip this step of the identity getting revealed, this works out for Yoshida too. And Denji needs to be introduced to a girl who's desperate for a boyfriend again. And then another visual gag where we immediately cut to a funny situation, and the girl that Yoshida has retrieved was the word I was looking for, is Asa, juice box in hand. They're all at the top of the city eating off. This is a scene in all the anime, right? They're on top of this schools thingy because there's a top of a roof thingy, because it's not just a bunch of sprawled out little things. I guess cities and schools in cities are probably like this, huh? I don't think I've ever seen a school in a city. A city in a school? No, a school in a city. So I wouldn't know. But this is an anime scene where they're all on the top roof of the fucking thingy. It's in Ava. I remember it in School Days, which I haven't seen all of. And basically everything. I feel like I saw it in Yamada's first time. All the high school anime I know. Ava and those other ones. Again, the flip page cut to funny visual meme where there's no words. A classic. A Chainsaw Man classic. And this is where we got the Yuko stuff. I guess I should look at chat. Miller just says, everyone, what's that about? Only Mikama, Yoru, and Denji remember so far. Who the fuck is Yoru? Let me Google this. Yoru Chainsaw Man. Oh, it's a War Devil. Well, I thought it was some part 1 redundant character. I don't even remember her joking about cake. Who, Rhaenyra or the War Devil? Oh, I guess it's Rhaenyra, so you're saying that it couldn't be that because nobody even remembers that, but whatever. Because I don't think Ice has ever mentioned cake before this. Like, cake, Denji might have at some point, but yeah. Denji ate cake last chapter, Power died holding cake, there's lots of cake stuff. Yeah. Because I vaguely remembered it in Chainsaw Man, but I did not remember it at all with Ice's character particularly. But anyway, getting back to the chapter. Oh yeah, Isa reveals that she got saved, and obviously Denji didn't know this because he wasn't trying to save anybody. He just incidentally saved them 2 chapters ago. And then Yoshida's all formal. Let me introduce you to Denji. I guess he wants to talk to you because he's a huge Chainsaw Man fan. Isa's not impressed by this. And then Denji plays the role of a weird fucking obsessive fan very well. And then they continue. This is basically the gag for the rest of the chapter. He says, I used to hate him. And then basically Denji is just fangirling here for Chainsaw Man. We then get into like these pages that are just back and forths where it's the same thing over and over again. Isa on one side, Denji on the other. I feel like it's all great stuff though. His clothes and body are always covered in blood, and it's just filthy. the dude bathes, and it's just going back and doing it back and forth. He uses his brain a ton after Asa says he doesn't. Then there's how he only saves women. It's blatantly horny and that's gross. He has a pure heart. Best gag. It's interesting that Denji only saves women to try and get women, but this is kind of indicating that a woman can see through that and see what he's trying to do and is then turned off by that. I guess not all of them, because we did have fangirls last chapter, but it is funny that Asa looks through it. And I don't know, if we talk about forward direction more than just the mini gags of this chapter, this could be set up for an eventual Asa-Denji relationship, but I still don't know how I feel about that. We'll see how that develops. They are mean to each other, which means they are in love, but we'll see. Power and Denji were mean to each other all the time, and they were like siblings. But Asa says, you don't know that you're not him, and then Denji gets internally mad. He accuses him of some other things like eating cats and dogs. He'd never do that or eat cats and dogs. First place, doesn't he eat people because he's a devil? Eat people. And then it changes the format of Denji, like reflecting for a second because he realizes, oh, I ate Makima. Okay, even if he did, it was just the one time. It's kind of cute that even though Denji is trying to cover, he's like truthful here and forces himself to be truthful. I don't know. It's just a little Denji quirk. I feel like everybody gets this. She repeats, how does she know? Chainsaw Man's just doing his best. But how do you know that? I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm finally going to say it. That'll show you. And then he says, I know because I'm Chainsaw Man. And then he does the Denji pose. The poses are so angular. Asa is also very angular in this page. The page is very good with the city in the background. And then he starts gloating about it. I know exactly Chainsaw Man's thinking because I'm him. Get it now. Yoshida is not happy. Asa just looks at him and says loser. And Denji, and she walks away and Denji looks shocked. Slams door. No one will believe you like that. But I really am Chainsaw Man. And that ends the chapter. Now, I don't know. Initially, before I read the last page, I was like, oh, it's another one of the gags. Like, he's trying to save women just to get women, and he's trying to reveal that he's Chainsaw Man to get women, but even the first woman he reveals that he's Chainsaw Man to calls him a loser. And it's like, Denji has to be Denji to get a girlfriend. He can't be Chainsaw Man, which is, I feel like the whole identity point that's made in the whole first part. The first part. Where it's Denji that has to beat Makima, not Makima, not Chainsaw Man and things like that. So maybe if the arc is getting Asa as a girlfriend, he's got to do it as Denji rather than trying to flex that he's Chainsaw Man. Or at least for it to be fulfilling that way. Maybe you'll get a fangirl at some point and he'll realize this isn't too fun. That's where the chronology of the chapter ends. But I don't know, to explain why this would be my favorite chapter or whatever is a little bit more difficult, I guess. I don't know. All the character stuff. I just want characters to speak to each other, right? This is pretty evident in most of the things I like, I feel like. Like. I honestly don't know what else to say. I really like the visual comedy of the chapter. I really like the visuals, but the visuals are always good. The paneling is really good. The flow of the chapter, I feel like this is just such fun, easy chapter to read. Not like there's ever like a difficult point where you're like scrolling through the wheel and you're like, oh, there's so much more to go in a Chainsaw Man chapter. But it really did feel more complete than the other ones. Like with all the other ones, I've been like, oh man, that's it. This kind of sucks. But with this one, I was like, like what a good place to end. What a place to stop and think for a little bit. I guess the chapter being called spoiler is just because he announces that he's Chainsaw Man, Lamau. But other than that, as I scroll through now, I don't know what else to say. We'll see what chat says. Race stays winning this race for now. Fuck Race and her boring ass. I think it's going for the fact that human form Denji has to embody and align with the image of Chainsaw Man he's built up. It depends. Is the Chainsaw Man image one that should be lived up to? I don't know if Fujimoto is... I don't know, there's nothing really too bad. Like, it depends how much we're supposed to take seriously. Like, only saving girls is bad, I guess, but it's also funny and endearing and likable. But, like, if Denji has a girlfriend, is he still going to only save girls, or is he going to save no one? It could do the funny thing where, like, he has a girlfriend, so he gets distracted and he stops heroing. And then he's not saving anybody. That could be a cute tie into that. I don't know if they'll go that far with it. If he's just fucking his girlfriend all day and doing nothing and watching movies. I know there's still not a very clear forward direction. Part 1 did have that with the gun devil stuff. I was gonna say for a second, did part 1 really have that? But yeah, it was like a whole thing to kill the gun devil, even though that was subverted later. But yeah. I don't know. Maybe I just like high school antic bullshit. It would be interesting. Fuck me. To see Yuko in this situation. Like, if we were to predict next chapter, who knows what happens? We could see Denji run after her here, but I assume that's not going to be it. I assume we're going to cut to later. I actually have anything could possibly happen in Chainsaw Man Chapter 105. Who knows? The series probably ends when Denji gets a girlfriend. Yes, do this cringe shonen flash forward girlfriend thing. Show none of the fun part. I know. I don't believe Fujimoto is so weak to do the Full Metal Alchemist meme. He will not do it. Didn't he kind of have a girlfriend in Race anyway? I guess that was fake, but then it was kind of real in retrospect. We'll see. Maybe part 2 ends with him getting it. I don't know. Is there ever going to be a part 3? Again, there's just so little to know. Like, because I guess the easy setup for the rest of part 2 would just to be, Asa ends up being the bad guy, and so it's set up for the War Devil Chainsaw Man clash. But even then, like, it doesn't seem like the War Devil could do anything, right? Two Chainsaw Man. Like, Denji's so strong, he beat the shit out of a way stronger devil into the devil that was too much for the War Devil to handle in her current state. So I don't know, maybe the War Devil does some fuckery where she starts a goddamn war again? Maybe it'll be like Devilman, unironically, and we'll have like the Devil War and people will start like revolting and hunting every devil and Denji will get roped into it. And he'll have to be a devil man, half devil, half man, and bridge the gap. And maybe Isa will orchestrate it. Is Isa actually Rio? ? They inverted the hair color. Isn't Denji like officially yellow haired though? That's kind of cringe. But yes, we're doing all the Devilman memes. Hopefully we get a decently sized arc soon. I mean, I don't care. Let's just do a high school memery. With no overarching, we never see a devil again. No more fights. I'm fine with it, but I assume that is the direction we must go in. But yeah, besides that, I don't know if there's much else to say. Fuck these yawns. The organization that Yoshida works for has to be the bad guys, right? Yoro is way too goofy to be a real antagonist, I think. Yeah. I feel like this has to be our trio. But maybe Yoshida is like, well, the reason I have to keep you... Yoshida, I just figured it out. Yoshida is a time traveler, and he knows Denji goes mental or something, and so he's got to keep... After he reveals his identity. Therefore... No, they just use the future prediction devil. That bloke exists. So we don't have no time machines. And Denji freaks out when somehow him revealing his identity spirals into the world ending, and we've got to stop that. And Denji's the bad guy. Now that's some pog shit. But yeah. I guess I haven't thought much at all about Yoshida and his group. I wonder what the first devil Denji erases will be. So he's got to eat him. I don't know. Would he ever do that? Maybe. I feel like it's something in stories where, like, it's always like when like the character comes back to life, they always end up dead or something again, because it's like not right to fuck with the natural order of people being dead or something, or like the theme sort of clashes with the idea of reverting back to a previous time when you're happy, and when most stories want to be like, you got to push forward or whatever. And I'm just thinking about how Dragon Ball is the antithesis of this. But I feel like with erasing things, it will... I don't know. I don't see like the conclusion of an arc being Denji erasing things, and that being the good action or something like that. Maybe he'll erase something and it'll be a bad action. Maybe that's the kind of way you have some time travel fuckery. Not literally, but have like, oh shit, everything's different now because Denji erased the thing and everybody around him remembers a different thing. It's like the Okabe time traveling thing, where it's like, oh, now Denji's in a different reality and he's got to figure out how things happened in this, and how him and Yoshida are friends this time after he erased whatever the fuck. There's some bullshit that could happen there. The organization is probably trying to prevent Puchita from taking over and erasing concepts. Denji accidentally erased the Love Devil or something. Maybe. The Love Devil. What a concept. What if the Love Devil is secretly the most powerful devil because everybody is secretly afraid of love? Now that's some Fujimoto shit. He'd have a wacky design, he'd pull it off. But yeah, the speculation is kind of like we're clutching onto some barely... Well, usually bare threads at the beginning of the story usually eventuate. Like the Yoshida boyfriend scene with Asa, or really the War Devil, like 3 or 4 chapters ago, was set up for this interaction to happen. And I don't think I would have thought about that. So that might not be to set up Yoshida and Asa, but Asa and Denji eventually. With more context, you gotta reinterpret the purpose of certain things. But yeah, chapter was sick. Chainsaw Man always be sick. It'd be cool, bro. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with another chapter, I'm assuming. That's how Chainsaw Man Part 2 be going, every 2 weeks. And we'll see if it continues. Whenever it happens, I'll be back, though. Even though this one was a little late. But whatever. Shit happens. We'll talk about them generally. With that being said, for the YouTube audience, this is where we say goodbye. So, goodbye. Support links in the description below. Thanks.